Bentar, sebentar. Udah belum tidur kan jam segini. Oke kan. Oke lah, kalau dulu bentar sambil nunggu ngantuk lagi. Gak tau. Jeremy, oke. Ini harusnya sebentar kita coba cek ya.
Match found.
Oke. Nah ini harusnya target Sentinel
Deathmatch.
2
Warm
jam
up.
lagi, 2 hours left. Sentinel lawan tim Viking Mei 27 hari ini kan. Ntar lagi ya. Oke, ntar kita cek lagi lah. Let's go. Halo. Ah,
If you see one of my creatures, it's a good thing, alright? We'll figure out what they do eventually.
Fight.
Find the weak point and break it. Enough! Killed
up,
their
target?
omen.
ayo. Banget tangan. Belakang, belakang, belakang. God damn. Mantap.
Taken out. Killed their omen.
God damn it. Buset.
Piss off.
Bah, bangke. Sekali kepala.
Brimstone down.
Anjing dicari dong. Kan anjing. Apa sih?
One down. Buried.
Buset, buset.
Killed their omen.
Wah, kepalanya lo.
Ten kills remaining.
Sleep tight. One less.
Wah, 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 wah.
5 kills
Wah.
remaining.
Enggak langsung cek.
One
Buset,
kill
itu.
remaining.
Oh ya. Nah. Kalau pakai display capture lebih ringan nggak sih? Ya. Nice. Kok masih ada ya? Bentar. Halo bang, halo. Siapa nih Ardian Saputra? Halo bro. Enggak sih, lo udah mampir.
Match found.
Match found it. Match found it. Sepak bola.
Death match. Warm up.
Parah sih. Ya tidur bang. Udah tidur siang. Bangsat. Kan kocok nggak tuh? Tuh ah. Bentar nggak tuh? What the fuck?
Make sure to follow my pack in. They'll lead us right to the enemy.
Jadi ada udah.
Fight!
Don't give them
Iya,
ground.
sambil nunggu turnamen tuh. Nobar ntar. Nunggu TENZ. Bangsat. Mana ya? Ih. Yuk. Oh, enggak kepala loh. Come on. Oh, ngeting pala tuh. Buset, tenang dikit apa? Setan gemas dong kena kepalanya. Kena pala tuh nggak mati deh. Ada 2 kepalanya. Redet. Wih, 2 orang bangsat. Ayam kemana coba? Dari kiri ku di cok. Parah tuh nyala.
One less.
Oke, tenang. Tuh orang diam loh. Bangsat emang brimstone. Tuh orang nggak lihat ke belakang padahal loh.
Finished.
Kitchen mantap pula. Ayo tengok belakang. Enggak dong. Astaga, waktu doang. Hop. Tarik mundur. Tarik mundur. Tarik mundur. Bisa naik. Coba tarik dong. Apa sih? Nggak kena anjing. Wah. Aji.
Taken out.
Sakit itu. Wait. Please lah. Muncul.
Killed their omen.
Ternyata begitu, apa coba? Oke.
Done with.
Ya reload ternyata di sana. Apa coba ini ke senjata tai gitu. Apa nih? Jangan coba apa itu coba. Coba yang kemana deh itu?
Ten kills remaining.
Bang punya game apa? Halo sama roleplay. Fortnite udah gak main. Apa sih itu? No ayam banget pakai senjata begituan, cok.
5 kills remaining.
Killed their omen.
Dominating.
Bagian pula di
One down.
ayam. Atas. Pada dasar.
1 kill remaining.
Udahlah, kita Andret. Nggak tahu, aku mau nonton gini soal turnamen. Nunggu TENZ main di gini di tim Sentinel. Kalau kau tahu Valorant TENZ.
Match found.
Yes, I'm pumped.
Thanks yang udah mampir ya, yang udah nemenin jam 2 subuh. Pada tidur kan ini orangnya. Come on, picks, Bain, come on. Jeremy Bastian bukan ya? Bukan, beda ya.
Thanks. Well done.
Ada aja Eka. Kalah itu semua. Hey guys.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Fine. I'm waiting TENZ.
Take flight.
Master Reykjavík Tournament, I mean.
Board just now.
Waiting for TENZ Sentinel.
Killjoy turret in.
Right here. Going out.
Killjoy turret. Someone.
Bomb buddy out.
Reloading.
Finished.
No way.
Last player standing.
Rena very low.
Spike down
60.
B.
Surrender please namanya. Dia low juga lah.
Coba biar find them for me.
Fall back. Track them down.
Go get him.
Reloading. Plant the spike. There.
No way, what the fuck is that? Planting dong masuknya.
Revealing area. Spike planted.
Someone is B.
Shot down.
Reloading.
One enemy remaining. Last player standing.
Nice.
The winds shift in our favor.
Reloading.
Reloading.
Eyes on target.
Spike's there.
Cover going out. Shadows traveling.
I have the spike. Go get him.
Get my back.
Defeated.
Last player standing.
Man.
The enemy only looks composed. Their hearts tell a different story.
Let's make some chaos.
I've got your
Deploying
trail.
drone.
Foolish. Reloading.
Scanning ahead. Shock dart. Shock dart.
Bomb buddy out. Satchel out. Satchel out.
Someone in two, someone in two.
The hunt begins.
One down. Cage triggered.
One enemy remaining.
Rena, go.
Rena, why are you doing that? Like,
Last
Rena.
player standing.
Renanya cocok.
30 seconds left.
Yoi, di PC.
Ten seconds left. Clutch.
Report aja kalau belum ini.
If you're not a good shot today, don't worry. There are other ways to be useful.
Just report Rena, guys.
Biggie, Sova.
Cover going out.
Deploying drone.
Bomb buddy out.
Right here. Scanning ahead. Reloading.
Out of charges. Satchel out. There. Spike planted. Here comes the party!
Last player standing. One enemy remaining.
One of my cameras is broken.
Oh, wait. Okay.
It's fine.
Overtake them.
Defenders win.
Apa coba main begitu kan? Blok.
Match found.
Match spawn, match spawn. Wah, beres. Wah. Wah, wah.
Yes, I'm pumped.
Yes, I told him.
Match found.
President, nice.
Yes, I'm pumped.
Gila, ignore terus. Apa coba?
Match found.
Okay.
Raze, remember, this is a covert mission. At least try not to give us away. Reloading.
Hello. You did
Reloading.
well.
Reloading.
Revealing area.
Enemy spotted B. Go get him. Reloading.
Take flight.
The
Spike
fuck?
down B.
You're back, bro, on your back.
I have the spike.
Last player
is
standing.
One down.
One enemy remaining.
Shit on your right. Near the spike. Nice try. Nice glitch.
I still can't get over that owl, Sova. It's too cute.
Why is it so cute? Need a drop.
Spike's here.
Time for a field test.
Hey. Hey. Hey.
Scanning ahead.
Here.
Our spike carrier's dead.
Thanks.
Spike down B.
I have the spike.
The fuck? Shit.
Enemy spotted. Lead.
Last player standing.
No more.
Nice. Nice, nice.
We got this. Look out for their rift walker. Reloading.
Revealing area.
Almost out.
Again, the fuck?
Variable removed.
Flu doang. Ada set ya. Oke, nice.
Enemy spotted mid.
On your right,
Deep.
Jorush.
Lights out.
Oh, bisa dihancurin tak?
One enemy remaining.
There is dead.
Spike down mid. 30 seconds left. Last player standing.
This thing.
Nice.
Oh, this is a much better trajectory.
Enemy spotted A.
Is.
That's done.
Lock the sight. Reloaded.
Scanning ahead.
Last player standing. Spike down mid.
Three.
One enemy remaining.
Sorry guys.
Okay, I only have like 78 grenades left. Hopefully that's enough.
Go A, bro. Rush A.
Eyes up.
What's this? Enemy spotted A. Placing bomb body out.
Take flight.
Reloading.
Enemies in defender spawn.
Next. There.
Someone's in defender spawn.
There. Spike planted.
I'll handle this. Placing swarm grenade.
Here comes.
What the hell?
One enemy remaining.
Brother.
Take off A, go.
On your left. Behind you. I had a step.
What?
Swarm grenade
I
out.
hate to say it, but probably best to play as a team. So, what's the plan?
Don't overthink it. That's my job.
Scanning ahead. Deploying drone.
Go get him. Turret out.
The fuck? Ada Brims di sana.
Spike down A.
Get out of my way! Enemy. Oh!
Last player standing.
Blocking sight.
Dekat nih dah.
What the hell, man? Oh,
Move in after I strike. That's when
Need a
they're
drop.
weak.
Need a drop. This is gonna be fun.
Revealing area.
Set. Kiri ada juga.
Deploying
Spike
drone.
down mid.
Cutting through.
You will not kill my allies.
Over here.
I got a spike.
Phoenix from mid. Careful.
you're very low.
Here.
1-2-1.
Decoy.
Spikes down.
Embarrassing.
Use ulti, Killjoy.
Initiated.
Last player standing.
Trap trap.
Good.
One enemy remaining.
Nice.
Prepare for hellfire.
Nice nice.
Okay, bro. Now.
Just let them try to catch me.
Trap. Spike spike.
At some point, we'll have to get the spike.
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry.
Find their weakness.
Won't happen again. Won't happen again. Won't happen again.
Take flight.
Reloading. Go get him.
I am the hunter.
Apa coba aim jauh gitu.
Spike down mid.
Silence.
Euro Phoenix R83.
I got the spike.
Last player standing.
Niat kali musuh nih.
Don't stop fighting. You must keep going, even if you're the only one.
Gun here. Quick peeks now.
Scanning ahead.
Alarm bot out. See ya!
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Placing sentry.
Joke's over. You're dead. I'll handle this. Enemy spotted B. Many enemies B.
Cing lah.
I'm right
Right here.
Shock dart.
Ouch.
Last player standing.
Cutting through.
30 seconds left. One enemy remaining.
Sweet.
OP itu ngeselin kali.
Gear up, stay safe. We're going back in.
Reloading. Reloading. Can I get this?
Let's flush them out.
Watch this.
Scanning ahead.
Placing alarm bot. Turret out.
Bomb buddy out.
Time to jump.
Here comes the party.
Ah,
Goodbye.
Here. Flag planted.
One enemy remaining.
Reloading.
Here.
Revealing area.
mid, Brim's mid.
Careful.
Double OP.
We get a pick, we move in. Got it?
Can I get a drop?
Reloading.
Jump them.
Go get him.
Take flight.
Spike down A.
I have the spike.
No, OP.
Blocking sight.
Go. What the hell? Go. Go. Go.
Our second carrier is dead.
Spike down A.
Yes, bro.
I got the spike.
Last player standing.
You die. You got a dash and I don't have a dash. Hello, man. What do you want me to do? What the hell?
Thirty seconds left.
Got one.
10 seconds left.
No. Sorry guys.
Last round in the half.
Buy all you need.
Need a drop. drop. Thanks.
Come into the unknown.
There.
Scanning ahead.
Enemy spotted.
Get
B.
out of my way!
Time to jump.
I'll be the same. Enemy spotted mid.
I'll handle this. Those carriers dead.
Spike down mid. One enemy remaining.
Back, bro.
Last player standing.
Shit! I should fight. Why run? The fuck? Fuck my bad. Jet 50.
Anyone
Switching
have any
sides.
spits? I may have jammed my fingers. Multiple fingers.
Placing sentry.
We'll come back. I can feel it. Go get him.
There they are.
Ooh, man, nice.
Reloading.
Taken out.
Multiple enemies mid. Reloading.
One down.
Shot dart.
Enemy spotted B.
Last player standing.
Enemy spotted B.
Level heads until we're home, yes? Good.
Apa si crosshair ini ya?
Keep it cool. That's how you survive. Placing sentry. Enemy spotted. B.
Enemy spotted mid.
Enemy spotted mid.
Bomb buddy out.
Spike spotted mid. Bye. Here.
There.
Shot dart.
Enemy spotted B.
There. There.
Enemy killed.
Ah, anjing. Ke Spectre. One.
Last player standing. Thirty seconds left. Spike planted. Bot coming back.
Everyone makes fun of German efficiency. Ha ha. Just keep laughing as you use all my gear.
Keep up. Turret out.
Go get him.
Enemy spotted B. You're done. Enemy spotted mid.
Last player standing. Spike down B. Spike planted. One enemy remaining.
Oh wait.
Pick something nice to kill them
Kenapa,
with. It's the least we can do.
Follow bentar aku sambil nunggu. Harus disconnected. Nice.
Get out of my way! Turret out.
Aku kemana coba? Astaga.
Who's next?
Euro 100. Mid.
Enemy. Oh!
Right there, bro.
Careful.
Spike
Euro.
planted. One enemy remaining.
On your right, be careful.
Revealing area. There they are.
Nice. Very nice.
It is over.
Remember, your weapon is only a tool. You can't just shoot. You have to think.
Placing sentry.
Down, buddy.
Spotted B.
There.
I am the hunter!
You will not kill my allies!
Multiple enemies B.
Spike down B.
Neutralized.
Initiated.
Brim 32.
One enemy remaining.
Brim 30, low. On your right, Killjoy, careful.
Shock dart.
Who could have predicted this? All right, I did.
Reloading.
I got your backs. Just, you know, from the front.
Sentry. Here. Enemy spotted A. Thanks, Botty. Here.
No chance.
Enemy spotted A.
Boom!
Last player standing.
Anjing, dua ngepick. The fuck.
Match point.
They look
Fuck
like
lah.
us, but are they us?
I have so many questions.
My bad, sorry.
Let's make them dance.
Turret out.
There. Bomb buddy out.
Last player standing.
Sope pula.
Get out of my way!
Turret's destroyed. Finished. Got one.
Initiated.
Attackers win.
Nggak perlu menit lagi bisa lah.
Match found.
Let's go. Evan, okay.
There.
Rồi.
Hey bro, 58 minutes before TENZ playing.
Get him.
Enemy spotted mid. Enemy spotted C.
Out of
Such
charges.
heal me, such.
For you.
Thanks, bro. The fuck?
Spike planted.
Reloading.
Enemy spotted. C.
Reloading.
Dead.
One enemy remaining.
Good try, idiots.
That should humble them.
Last human standing wins.
Go get him.
Here.
There.
There.
Don't resist.
There.
There. One enemy remaining.
Wah! Gobloknya.
It's fire. Now
Get up.
Oh my god. Lah sih.
Reloading.
No one beats my firepower. I got this.
We win, we survive.
Bomb buddy out.
Enemy spotted me. You're done.
Out of
Sit, I need your
charges.
heal. Sit, heal, sit.
Healing you.
Thanks, bro.
Out of charges.
Buset. One. Target. Ini 59 menit lagi sebelum TENZ main ini. Ya harusnya.
$30 seconds left.
Your roommate.
Poison's on.
Spike planted.
Under heaven.
One enemy remaining.
Thanks.
Tidur Bao.
Blasphemous.
Bao, tidur Bao.
Never had a doubt. Let's keep it going.
Need a drop. They want to die. Let them.
Get out of my way.
You should run.
Pega. Oh.
Enemy down.
Back up here. Enemy spotted A.
Spike planted.
There.
One enemy remaining.
Here.
Team Ace.
You say something? Sorry, ear's still ringing.
Anyone with funds to spare? Thank you. Weapon here.
Go get him.
Enemy spotted A. Nice shot.
There.
Spike drop near window.
One enemy remaining.
Spike's there.
Spike down, attacker spawn.
We're barely worth the effort.
Let's strike first. It's better than having to strike back.
Nggak enak kali loh posisi duduk nih sebenarnya, nggak tahu dah meja dan berkele kali.
Bomb buddy out.
One enemy remaining. Spike down mid. Flawless.
Ah, meus amores, we live another day.
Pick something nice to kill them with. It's the least we can do.
I'll cut through.
Go get him. There. Boom. Out of charges. There.
Spike down. C.
Wah anjing, kaget yuk. Kampret muncul.
Out of charges. Cutting through.
Your duty is not over.
I must record this feeling.
Last player standing. Thirty seconds left. Spike planted.
The dimensional fabric here is thin. I'll tear through.
Gone here.
Thanks, Edge.
Gettin when they're not looking.
There. There. Get out of here. Bomb buddy out.
Enemy spotted C.
Here comes the party.
Enemy spotted Here.
Oh my god.
You should run.
Kok saya rapa ni coba?
Get out of my way. Enemy spotted. Me.
I'll handle this.
Really my bad.
Enemy spotted B.
Last player standing.
Really.
Once more into battle. I'm not tired. Are you?
Can someone get this? Thank you.
I need to blow something up.
Enemy spotted A.
Who's next?
There.
Enemy spotted A.
Spike down A.
Enemy spotted mid.
Spike is A.
You will not kill my ally.
30 seconds left.
Many enemies A.
One enemy remaining.
Man. Apain coba?
None of my stuff has malfunctioned yet. Can we celebrate that? Need a drop. Thank
Bro,
you.
sorry bro, I don't know what I'm doing here. Really.
As one.
There. Engineer killed.
Enemy spotted mid.
Spike down mid.
There.
One enemy remaining.
Gun here.
OP, OP.
I'm the last thing they'll see before they die. Lucky them.
Together.
There. My ult's not ready. Go get him.
Reloading.
Jet's grounded. Satchel out. Out of charges.
Damn. God damn.
Spotted mid.
Oh man, right there.
Enemy down.
Oh man, 40.
Healing.
Toxin screen down.
One enemy remaining.
You tried to be a hero.
Great job.
Last round before the switch.
We can't take anything with us after this.
Need a drop.
Thank you. Can someone get this? I want to see you crawl.
Bomb buddy out.
Here.
Shoot them. Enemy spotted A.
On my mark.
There. Here comes the party! I blew you up!
The fuck? Shit. Yoru 67.
Spike down A. One enemy remaining.
Your life won't go to waste. Look
Switching
your enemy
sides.
in the eye. It helps with accuracy.
Time to jump.
Spike.
Reloading. Reloading. Come on, let's go! Reloading. Bomb buddy out. There.
Reloading.
Plant your spike. Enemy spotted. There.
Heal me,
Out of
heal me,
charges.
heal me.
No heal, no heal.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, there's two flag.
Enemy spotted C.
There. There. One down.
Last player standing.
VCT needs me. I can't be away for long. Let's end this quickly.
You raise. Put no crosshair, bro. You gotta get
Let's see.
Cutting through.
Exterminated.
Cutting their vision.
Bad luck.
No way.
Last player standing.
The fuck I'm doing?
Move in after I strike. That's when they're weak.
Spike trap. Spike.
Enemy spotted C.
There. There.
One down. For you.
What the hell?
Enemy spotted.
Set 78 from Gerrit.
Enemy spotted. See.
Reloading.
Reloading.
Last player standing. One enemy remaining.
Nice.
Zucko better watch their backs.
Time to explode.
Time to jump.
Enemy
Reload.
spotted A.
Decoy.
I have the spike. There.
Enemy spotted A.
My ult's not ready. There.
130 euro. Backside.
You're done. I'll handle this.
Barrier created.
Enemy spotted
Spike planted.
A. Enemy spotted
A.
One enemy remaining.
I don't die so easily.
No.
Match point.
One last fight, everyone. We can do it.
I'll return. Decoy.
Enemy spotted C.
Get out of my way!
Reloading.
You should run.
Reloading.
Healing you.
Your duty is not over.
Spike carrier's down.
Spike down mid.
Enemy spotted C.
Poor bitch.
There.
What the fuck?
Spike.
Reloading.
Spike planted.
They will cover.
One enemy remaining. Last player standing.
No. Okay, go.
Attackers win.
We move forward.
The armchair analysis with Shazam saying that people would say they had a puggy style back in the day.
Okay, so here we go.
I mean, I like the way Lothar put it when they were on Haven. They were very patient. They were very methodical, getting good lineups, getting good setups, and those kind of things. On Icebox, they were particularly destructive. I think for the Vikings here, if they try the same kind of stuff they did against X10 on Icebox, where they're just kind of blind walking into Viper's pits and things like that, they're going to find themselves really falling apart. Zoms is doing a great job on the Viper, holding things down. Everything looks so good for the Sentinels right now that top to bottom, there's not a bad player on this team in any sense. I mean, they're all just fragging out of their minds at times. And what are you going to do? In a tournament like this, sometimes players can just take over. They just catch fire and they can just run over other teams.
Yeah, now, Lothar, I know it may have appeared like I called you out for the adaptation comment, because I always like to get the both sides of the conversation. You know, Vikings, though, they are the best out of Brazil, right? They're coming into this as the top seed. Clearly, these guys are no slouches whatsoever. Who are the players that you need to that we all need to pay attention to as we get ready for this matchup?
I think it has to be Saucy, right? Has to be Saucy. How does that meme go? For the blind is the bold. For the hungry is the bold. For the sick is the bold. For the loner is the bold. I think that is how it goes. I think the chat knows it. But the guy is nuts, you know?
Yeah.
And I hope that he's gonna be showing up in this match because he's a one of those type of players that I also like to just watch even when I don't see the gameplay. He's like Boaster, you know, he's like the Brazilian Boaster. He's very energetic, he's very positive, something that I feel like in Valorant and in esports in general is very appreciated when you have players that you can bond with. And this event was, well, okay, very eventful when it comes to showcasing that, right? We have so many cool personalities here in the scene, so I'm very happy to see players like that. Yeah. And he can frag out, so that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
All right, well, for those of you guys who are at home, make sure you follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Valorant Esports so that you know exactly what's going down here at Masters 2. And the fans have spoken, and 62% say that Sentinels will walk away with the win. 62%, quite interesting. Potter, your thoughts and your predictions.
I'm going to go with Sentinels here. I think this is going to be a very brawly series, but I got to go with my boys over at Sentinels.
All right, Paper Thin, what about for you?
Well, I'm 0-2, so I've gone from balding to balding, but I'm picking the Sentinels this time around.
All right, and Lothar, quickly, who do you got?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go with the flow, you know, Sentinels.
All right, well, you heard it here, folks. Sentinels, everyone believes that they are going to win. Map Select with the coaches is about to get underway. It's the best from Brazil and the best from North America. Let's send it over to your casters and get this game going.
Thank you, Golden Boy. Yes, here we are once again. We get to see Sentinels, but this time they're going to be playing a Brazilian team. This is such an interesting one. We talked about Brazilian teams and how they are. We have to watch out for them. And lots of people posited that perhaps the Brazilians would really shock us here at this event. You know, going into this one, Van Silly, they're up against quite a tall task. The Sentinels are certainly not to be trifled with.
100%. And if you've actually listened, chat and fans of Valorant, yesterday in a post-game interview from Sasi and Dash, I think he was trolling at some point because he said, hey, we've been practicing so far with an Omen. We got wrecked here towards the scrim times. We're just going to play our own game and figure out how things will work. But I think that they definitely have some hidden things under their sleeve that could potentially upset Sentinels in the series. But again, Sentinels, top in North America, big test going into this event for Masters 2, a big test versus Fnatic, and they did quite well.
Yeah, certainly did. And as we see the teams, facing each other here, it's just so beautiful to see just a North American team against a Brazilian team. How long have we been waiting for this? And again, this game, exactly. And in this game, anything can happen. Truly, it really can. And I can't wait to see the kinds of setups that we're going to be seeing here out of both sides. I think, we've seen that Vikings have, proven themselves, so far, obviously, to get to this point, to, of course, within their region, respectively, to be very good. But, objectively, just in terms of how we have seen, Valorant played, this is a pretty solid team, like, all around. They have their own style, and some of the setups might be readable if Sentinels have put the work in, but I don't know if, Sentinels is that kind of team even to like overstudy their opponents and really try to take that approach where you're trying to anti-strat. To me, Sentinels is not quite that team, and they're not really equipped that way either. Not a team with a coach either. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one pans out as we get to see our maps.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need a coach when you have a 4-head that's like a 10-head with Shazam, right? The amount of practice and studying that he puts into all of these teams and just applies everything just perfectly for Sentinels. It may look like they never switch a lot in terms of their compositions for Sentinels, but just one small thing in terms of an agent composition, for example, with Astra now coming out for Zombs, it's good enough to still continue to dominate for the whole scene, at least in North America and so far in Masters 2. For Vikings, for me, definitely going into this event, there were the dark horses of this event along with Newturn. They do have upset potential. They do have raw aim and good aim. They do have a great Sova player and Sase, where a lot of players or a lot of fans in Brazil would probably even them up to like a Zeta into Cloud9 or into Hiko in terms of the clutch factor in Brazil. So there's going to be a lot going on, resting on to Sase, but also on to Sadak as the IGL. They study the teams a lot too. So now they all have to come in together together for Vikings, because now you're trying to figure out, okay, where's Shazam going to opt, for example, on the first map being Icebox? How can we actually counter that right now? What can we use? What agent composition can we have? And what role every single piece will have in this series? Because Dan, when you look back at Icebox, when he played against X10 yesterday, just as Lothar said, they were playing no Sage, no Viper, but in the past, qualifying here into Masters, they also played with a Sky. And I'm pretty sure they played with a Sova at the same time too, so double initiator. And I think if they go back to that type of composition, it would actually be really nice against Sentinels, who like to play like the trade style, that play style that comes very aggressive on his retakes because they're so good for trading. But as you see the agent composition, nothing will change for Vikings.
Yeah, it's. I was wondering if we would see that Viper, as you mentioned, that is an agent that Salaki does actually go to on some maps like Vines, but here we're seeing the Killjoy coming through instead, actually going for a double duelist there with GTN on the Raze and FRZ on the Jet as well. And in terms of what Sentinels are running, we are so well accustomed to it. I think we've spoken to Shazam many times in terms of how he kind of runs shop with the team, and I feel like Shazam, figured out very early on, even being someone from CS, that this is a game where you have to really understand. Firstly, you have to have good chemistry on the team. Everyone has to mesh really well in terms of how they play the game. But I think Shazam figured out how to make small adaptations based on his players and still keeping things loose and still keeping everyone very, very comfortable. Because you've got to give a lot of flexibility to your individuals in this game. And we're straight into it. This is map 1 between Sentinels and Vikings. Best of 3 here in the upper bracket. We'll see exactly how this one goes down. Vikings on the offense to begin with.
So excited for this one, Dan. This might be the first time where Sentinels could finally taste this whole W from Brazil. What is it going to look like? But it's going to be Shazam that does that instead. An updraft onto Belt. Oh, the timing off that. He might still be able to catch some players on the fast flank, but that means it's an A site that's open.
Yeah, Sassy's going to get caught, and this is quite confusing on the call for Vikings. Like, how did he... I don't, but we have a spike plant, so that's fine. Shazam looking to get his pistol on, known for his pistol aim, but Sudicast will be able to take him down. Again, forward apologies for any mispronunciations. We'll try our best.
Oh, you nailed that one. You nailed that one, Dan.
Sentinels with that retake. Recon Dart goes forward. Sentinels getting closer now. Just diving through that dark cover. No fear at all from Sick. Trace coming through now as Sentinels starting to gain more ground. We'll be able to actually start pressuring this spike. The tap comes through from TENZ and just sliding along the zip line. Not a care in the world. It's up to Zoms to try to finish this one off, but I don't know they will have time for this one.
Well done.
Salaki is just going to be chilling up there in the attacker nest, and well, there it is. Zoms is going to go down as well. And that'll be Vikings picking up the piss around. Lovely stuff.
All thanks to good timing, right? Because when you looked at the retake and the battle coming in from Sentinels, like Potter said, it was going to be a bloodbath. And what I'm most looking forward to in terms of the gunfights, then, is later on, once we finally had the rifles come in. Again, I'm going to have to go back to the double bullets here that's coined by the way that the Brazil plays their rifles, the Vandals, and especially even sometimes the Phantom too, just going for those 2 taps very consistently and dancing around with the 30% forgiveness that you have in terms of mobility, because when you're strafing and counter-strafing, there's still more forgiveness into this game than there is, for example, in Counter-Strike. So Vikings have developed their own firing style, but on LAN, is it going to be good enough versus Sentinels, who, look at the roster themselves, have great firepower throughout the roster.
Certainly. It's definitely, you have to be able to meet them on that field first and be able to hold your own. That's the first test. Making their way are Vikings towards this B site. And that toxic screen is set up nicely here for Sentinels on the defense for retakes, and also just to delay the effort onto the site. Very annoying. And the rotation's in.
TENZ has a Marshall. We've seen this yesterday, so you got to be careful if you're Vikings.
Yeah, looking for the moment to collapse here. It doesn't look like it's going to be an easy one. In fact, with that said, you called it. TENZ able to take down one, and that's the spike not being planted. I think it was denied just in the nick of time here, which creates a lot of issues because now they have to go. Vikings have to push back onto the site to get the spike, and they've managed to get the spike. And in fact, FLZ is going to take that straight to the A site. Okay, might be able to catch it on the cross. Will 6 see it? I don't think 6 saw that in time.
And another TTN was still stuck at yellow, so it's going to be an easy, like, 3v1 into... Oh, there you go. The round's over. That's TENZ with the Marshall here, Dan.
Yeah, that was a really nice movement there across to the A side from B. I think it was really unlucky that TENZ was able to find that kill, because TENZ denying the spike there created way too many problems. And you can see this is through the smoke. Oh, actually, well, there you go. That is unfortunate. We've all been there. The dark cover just going down just at the wrong time. That made all the difference. I think if the spike goes down, it's still a very winnable round for Vikings.
Correct. And with that, though, that disruption that was created by TENZ at that point, and again, a little bit of a disadvantage by not having somebody like an agent, like a Viper, to continuously put that wall up, because once that dissipates and you're not able to get that plant down, it's just you're open now trying to cross over to get these plants in a sight. And another Marshall kill here from TENZ onto Sadak, as we do have a hero buy coming in there. Sassy, actually no, Sassy still has that Bulldog from the previous round. The rest are going to be on an Eco, and they're just getting melted away. This should be an easy round for Sentinels to make it a 2-1. So after the Eco, you're going to right now just turn the page here for Vikings, and then you're just going to try to bring it back. Although I may be speaking too soon. It's a 2 versus 1, but he also only has 1 HP.
1 HP. That's nasty. Very difficult situation for Sassy. The Bulldog as well. And Sentinels are not going to give anything for free here. They are just playing it completely safe, giving a lot of respect to Sassy. Trying to play this one correct. And as far as Sentinels are concerned, they can allow the spike to be picked up, because once the spike is planted, or that they start to hear the planting sound, that then gives them the information as to where Sassy is. And then that allows them to know precisely how to play together to get the kill and guarantee it. So
yeah.
With that said, though, Sassy's had to make so much noise here, and there's such little time left. It looks like it will be a gentleman's agreement. Sassy will be saving,
10 seconds left.
and Sentinels will not pursue.
So 2 rounds in a row here saved by Sassy. So he was able to get 1,000 credits, another 1,000 credits, plus all the ability that he's bought in the last 2 rounds. He probably doesn't have that much going on. Maybe enough for shields and buying stuff here for maybe a lower buy for one of his teammates. But this has been very good here for Sentinels. And again, I thought that we might see something a little bit different for Vikings from pulling at least some flashes. If you don't have a Viper, if they played a Sky before in the past, this would have been very good if they want to try to take sites over, for example, on the A side. Because again, look at this mini map of where Shazam is currently being placed. He's with the operator towards the A side. Who else do they have to face against? They have to face up against TENZ. And when you don't have any flashes to try to push him back, it's going to be easy for Shazam to land these shots, as we've seen before in different days.
And TENZ up there, large and in charge, but taken down actually without getting a single kill is certainly going to create some issues. The dash comes through. That's going to gain some very quick forward space here for Vikings. 6 managed to creep under the rafters, and Shazam's starting to peer out now as well, looking to see what he can find. We know he's quick for the flick, but it doesn't look like he's going to get any peeks here. Dapper, though, taking down Sassy, makes it a 4v4. Sentinels will have to go pretty deep here, though. But the Nano Swarm's up on the box to delay. No peeks being given. Shazam's quite deep now. Spots one. Has to dash away. And playing the post-plant shenanigans, the lineups are there. Are they able to deny this, though? The diffuser's coming through.
Oh,
my. Come off of it. Beautiful work there from Vikings. It felt like they just put Sentinels in a checkmate position in terms of the post-plant with the way that they had the lineup set up. Looked like Sentinels, it looked like they had a chance, but in reality, there wasn't really an answer.
And I guess this is a great way to actually push back the operator from Shazam as well. So they didn't have any flashes, as we mentioned before, but how they do it is they actually do have the cloud burst being thrown at the beginning from their jet, and at the same time, the owl drone comes out from Sase to tag Shazam and force him out of his spot. Yes, you would have expected maybe a couple of kills here to even up the tally when they were pushing up against TENZ, but that's just a great push coming in from Vikings. What I do find very interesting as well, though, is Vikings are consistently planning on top of the A tower so far of the A site. So no default spots, very dangerous when you don't have, like, again, the Viper or anything to try to help out the plant, not a Sage Wall to try to cover the plant too, but it's been perfect so far for the Pulse plant with the utility from the Nanoswarms and the Snakebite combined with the Viper Cloud.
Oh, and interestingly, the lockdown looks like it might come through here, and Sick is 1 away from Hunter's Fury, so he can't actually deny this. Now the question is, will they sacrifice one player on the defense Sentinels to try to get some kills? TENZ is the man to do it. He's going to be able to take down one. In fact, a second kill coming through as well. Traded out by FRZ. And Sudicast towards B, just lurking on through, and wow, this is interesting. 40 seconds. Oh, trying to get out of there, out of the A site, on the rotation towards B, and Sadiki will be lost, and TENZ is going to be rezzed. So this is getting very interesting now. This is a very difficult situation.
30 seconds left.
Oh no, Shazam is going to find a perfect timing on this one. There's nothing that can be done about that. We'll get taken down by Sudicast, but a 1v3 now in store for him. Here's the stepping, plays through the smoke, tries to punish. Now they know exactly where Sudicast is in, and he's going to be in so much trouble. There's a good attempt at a recovery, but not good enough in the face of Sentinels, it seems, and they're going to pick up the round 3-2.
Yeah, Danny was definitely a good attempt at that point. I think on that 4 versus 2, you wanted to try to gamble a little bit at that point, right? To move back towards B side was the right call, and it comes down to where the positioning of Sutikas was at, actually on the rotations from Sentinels, because he pushed all the way out towards Snowman, towards that spawn side, hoping to catch some players from Sentinels at Boiler, moving into the kitchen side. But after that res, everybody went towards that mid, under tube, getting back from oranges to go for that defuse. So a little bit unfortunate of where the positioning was at, and you just want to get the plant down at that point in a 4v2. At least that was successful.
Yeah, it's really cool to see that they had the lurk kind of there to be activated in the first place. That extra dimension to their game is going to be very beneficial.
Yes.
As we see that almost amounting to an opportunity to just save the round entirely. Ooh, the Hunter's Fury coming through. Doing some damage. Shazam down. Ozzy trying to find what he can there with the Blaze Storm. Trying to punish the Hunter's Fury now. There goes the Cloud Burst by 410. Trying to just create a path, and it's going to work out. TENZ goes down.
Wow.
And this is looking like a struggle here for Sentinels. Oh! Once again, finding himself 2 unlikely kills. Just finding that perfect timing to create all kinds of problems. But he's alone against 3 players. Is there any extra damage to be done here by Dapper? Absolutely not. Sassy will take him down, but it was a good attempt, and it will keep the money honest here for Vikings.
Wow, that was very well done there for Vikings too. As we talked about how Sentinels are very good at like switching the tempo of how they play this game. Sometimes you want to play aggressive, play for the trades. Sometimes you just want to play more conservatively, just like the other series we saw. And for me, who's more accustomed to that stereotypical Vikings, hey, let's keep pushing forward, or just Brazil in general, for them to just hold default towards spawn side and punish an early aggression from Sentinels towards mid was actually very key for them to just open up towards the A side after. A blind, I think that was a blind Hunter's Fury too from Sassi to get that kill. So expecting the position of where TENZ is currently playing, always around that 410, caught him off guard, disrupted also the site, allowed for Vikings to get in, and to get that win was actually quite huge. So a 3v3, the battle comes back and forth. An owl drone that came out just to scout at the beginning from Sick into the mid side, but it's not going to surmount to too much information, except for this recon art potentially that could see towards the bottom of the tube. It's just going to be hidden away by FRZ at the bottom of that ramp. So you could still lurk up towards this side. Shazam's in a great position right now, though, if FRZ decides to fall back. So a very not necessarily default, but they're holding angles very aggressively here for Sentinels just to try to pin down FRZ.
Yeah, I'm loving this opening from Vikings. As they make their way back towards A, though, in the late rounds, we're going to see that TENZ will pick off Sadiki. FLZ there in mid, will be spotted as well. I feel like Sentinels have a pretty good read of what's going on at this point.
Yeah.
Where is TENZ? Just trying to contact through our Vikings. TENZ is in such a good position, especially with the bait there. Empress popped by TENZ. And there's still 5 players here standing for Sentinels, and the spike still needs to go down, but there is just so little time to do it. FRZ trying to fight against TENZ, and the delay is just so much at the same time for FRZ to try to contend with, as he just walks into the angle that TENZ is holding with Empress. Not going to be able to withstand that. And Sentinels pick up the round, and we're back and forth here, I have to say, Van. I mean, 4-3. It's been great to see that slow down. I liked that from Vikings, putting more emphasis around mid in the early round there. That was cool to see.
Exactly. It's something that we don't see quite often throughout the matches that we've witnessed casted, where mid control seems to be left out in the open, kind of, and working the extremities, the standard of running out the Al drone or the Sova utility to try to push back towards the B site. I like the presence towards mid from both of these teams. And with that, though, getting that positioning, as we mentioned before, pinning FRZ in that tube side, TENZ playing from where he is right now. You always kind of guess, is he going to play a Raze? Is he going to play a Reyna? Playing a Reyna on this map seems to work wonders for him because of these aggressive plays, and he could dismiss aways on his kill.
Oh, sick, doing a great job from the backside, and he's going to just go into completion here. Shazam up on the high ground. Ooh, just barely able to dodge that one, down to 10 HP. 2v3 here for Vikings. Make that a 2v2 as Toms goes down, and there might be some space, some breathing room after all to get the spike planted. There we go. Shazam creeping around, might find a timing here. Very dangerous. Dapper makes his way forward, goes down. It's up to Shazam here, 70 health. Can he make it work? Absolutely not. Denied by GTN. Great round again from Vikings. We've talked about the back and forth, and we get it here once more.
Little things as well from seeing Dapper throwing those slow orbs on the top of the A tower, right? I think they do that quite often, especially on the post-plant situation, so that nobody could really get into the tower and move forward to create like a one-way angle so they have verticality over players running towards spawn side. And even this is actually really good against a team like Vikings, who in the first 2 rounds have been planning a lot towards this A tower side. So now they force them on the ground. You fight on even angle and even maybe take the upper hand because you're rotating through spawn side on that raptor. But aim seemed a little bit more shaky this time for Sentinels on that retake. Vikings on point for that, winning that round. But this round here, we have an early ult coming out from Zombs. He's just trying to deny visibility from how they're playing towards this orb side. And are they trying to fight for the orb too to give it to Shazam?
There is still a drone available here for Sassy, as we can see. That can obviously be a good way to deal with a Viper's Pit, but they're going to ignore it entirely and just go for the run towards B. And you can see the rotation.
Shazam picked up the orbs.
And there's the lockdown as well, clear on any sneaky players in any close positions. Gives a lot of space to work with post-plan as well. Shazam, oh, over the top, he gets 2! Shazam again! He did it yesterday, and here he is once more with the knives causing problems. Still more players to go. Shazam, he wants every last one. This is a problem. The defuse now is being pressured. Vikings are surely going to have to start to push forward because they don't know what's going on. The Hunter's Fury comes through from Sassy, but there it is, Shazam looking for the 8. Out comes the Sheriff, can't pull the trigger in time, but the defuse is coming through from Sick, and there is no time to stop it. TENZ with the cover, and Shazam again, the X Factor with the Blade Storm, is going to give Sentinels an extra round.
That is how you deny momentum for sure. So the ult, yes, it was a half buy coming in for Sentinels. They ulted not only to deny visibility into the A site, but also to allow Shazam, who is 1 point away from getting the Blade Storm, picks it up, and this is the result to it, right? You've mentioned it, Dan. Yesterday has been key with the Blade Storm against Fnatic. Well, he does it again versus Vikings. Unfortunately, couldn't get that ace, but at least it's good enough for spacing and allowing actually the scaling from Sentinels on that retake into the defender spawn back into the site and giving it a lead again into the first half.
And more pressure coming through to A this round. We got a play some out here for FRZ is Sadiki is able to take down Shazam. Rez coming through. Chaos now as Sentinels try to hold on to the backside. That wall allows Sig to have position here, and he's going to be able to take down the spike for free. Sadiki's going to be out of the round now, and FRZ still with the knives ready to go, but this round is slowed down and it's looking good for Sentinels.
How'd that showstopper miss?
I don't understand. I simply don't understand. And now it's down to Sassy, looking pretty desperate here. Shazam will take him down, and it really felt like the momentum going into the site was so good for Vikings, and then there was just a certain point where they just couldn't go any further.
Yeah. Just a missed clearing, I think, because at that point, somehow, getting into sight, getting that wall up for Vikings, and looking for basically a default plan to play the retake, this is an angle that wasn't checked. Sick to be able to allow him to creep down towards low rafters and get that kill. Not only that, but onto the spike carrier, and dude, he's down at 12 HP. He swallowed the rocket. I don't know what was going on there for Sick, but he's got the blessing of Valorant for that time to survive that one. So 6-4, I gotta say, you're right, Dan. The momentum was there for Vikings to take that site, but just not clearing or double clearing back into the truck side of the back of the A site allow for Sick and Sentinels to regain momentum of the round.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll go back to that point more because there's some important stuff there. But once again, Vikings are going for this A site, and this time they're going to go into a more committed fashion, trying to get that backside control. That Cloudburst does prevent that backside peak, but Sentinels still have these positions to peak from the high and low ground to work off of, and it might be quite beneficial. But no, Vikings able to find the kills this time, and it's going to leave Sentinels down to just 2 players. And it seems like we've had so many rounds like this. Vikings will get shut out, but then just almost doing the same thing. The next round will have a significantly better result. And there it is, for the Prime Gaming Flawless, no less.
I'm actually really liking their attacker side here, Dan, for Vikings, because that was my biggest question mark again against Shazam. What do you do? How do you get him off of his position from the operator on that A site? And the amount of times that Vikings have been pushing towards the A site, but they're working the left side of the site instead of swinging towards the right, unless there's like a wall that comes up. If they are able to get Shazam out of his position on the left side of the site by truck, then they work towards the right side of screens and they pressure up into the A site that way, and don't really allow Sentinels to have an easier retake on their end. So Sentinels, to be able to win this round, they have to be on point. They have to be cohesive in terms of the chemistry for their retake plays, which is why it continues to be back and forth right now. Vikings are definitely putting up a good fight.
And Shazam on those knives at the end of the round, or sorry, at the end of the half, is certainly a scary prospect.
To 100%.
Hunter's Fury is available for Sassy, and Sadiki is an ultimate orb away from a lockdown. So you see that control will be gained here towards the A site. I'm sure they'll want to get Sadiki onto that orb. TENZ deals with the drone. Up by the pipes, he's a problem. And TENZ will actually drop down on to 410, trying to escape here. They're actually trying to run him down. They are having success, in fact, forcing him away. Still Shazam backside, waiting for his opportunity with these knives. And that's Killjoy ultimate. The lockdown does come through to force out Sentinels from the site, which will give a lot of post-plant positioning here for Vikings. And with that Hunter's Fury, they're going to have a lot of strength in this post-plant.
Yeah, and small detail too for Shazam to be able to escape without using a dash could still be huge right now for the retake.
Wall coming through actually around 410. This is getting quite hairy here. Sudicast will try to dodge that Hunter's Fury from Sassy as it goes forwards, and Shazam is still waiting for his moment, going forward with the knives, and does take down one. TENZ also able to do some damage. It's up to Sassy now. There's no more util after this shock dart. Will it be enough? The shock dart, oh, down to 6 HP Dapper. He survives, and Sentinels end the first half 7-5, just a mere 2-round advantage, and it feels like they need it. Vikings are playing great so far.
100%. I do agree with that, Dan. They're displaying some great Valorant right now for the region, really representing Brazil so far in this clash of, some would actually call Titans, right? A lot of players or a lot of fans are considering Vikings to be not only underdog dark horse, but could potentially win it all, especially if you're a Brazilian fan. So to go toe-to-toe right now versus Sentinels in this way, look at the amount of utility that gets popped off, and it it's so hard to cask because at the same time, it's just trade and a kill after kill. So the spacing and also the trade ability from both of these teams have been on point. It goes back and forth onto the scoreboard, onto the kill feed on top of that too. And I'm loving such this close game that we're currently witnessing so far.
Definitely, and straight away in the second half pistol, we're seeing the drone used by Sentinels to get control towards B, get that information, get the ultimate orb, and the rotation's coming through for Vikings as well. They're looking to meet this before it gets to planting a spike, and my goodness, Dapper takes down Sudicast. He had a couple opportunities there, didn't quite work out. Wall goes up for Dapper to get a plant, and there it goes. Not really an angle here, I don't think, for anybody to abuse. Sassy does try with a reveal, but as we follow Sadiki, we'll see if he was able to be able to do anything here, pushing forward. Post-plant positions are strong. Oh, that's an excellent shot there from Sadiki. What else has he got in store for us here as he goes forward, getting really close to these players? Dapper takes him down, and it's just FRZ with any workable amount of health here. That frenzy up close, and it's just not working out. Dapper is delivering frag after frag. And it's just a matter of time here for Sassy. One bullet will do it. And there is that bullet, and Sentinels pick up the pistol. And that's great to see as well, because, you know, you love to see the pistols traded. Yep. I believe Vikings won the pistol in the first half.
Yeah, and even at that point, it was you're kind of happy that Dapper still stayed alive, because I was chuckling a bit. He got into the B site while he was having his burial wall up, getting ready to throw it onto the B side, and suddenly you have a swing coming out from the defenders, and it catches him off guard, where potentially that would have been a spike lost. But now you get, what, 3 kills, a spike plant going on top of that too. Look at how close you're already into the res here. There was a big round here for Sentinels, and this res could definitely come into factor in about 2 or 3 rounds once you have a play like FRZ continuing to push forward, trying to fight for these orbs, trying to build up his Blade Storm, and try to build the economy back here for Vikings. But with this round, it's going to be a slow hold for Vikings, stacking up towards the A side. Shazam's the one that's going to try to look for some information there, but the rest of the team of Sentinels are lurking up towards this B side, slowly creeping up.
Yeah, and it feels like Vikings have a good read of this now. They're starting to make movement around the map. And this is the thing, though, is Sentinels cut noise, and they're rotating back and forth, and so it looks like they're about to catch this push that could be in store here around A main. This is a big moment, because close range battle could be favorable here, but nothing doing for Vikings. Zombs will take 2 down, and that's a free A bomb site, and they know it.
When you're fighting Classics in no armor versus a Spectre, not easy to get that win. So like you said, Dan, open sight, forcing the hand out of Vikings to push forward, and punishing them on looking for that information for Vikings should be looking to be a flawless, almost a Prime Gaming flawless. And there it is.
There it is. All right, so 9-5 now in favor of Sentinels. We get into our first buy round here for Vikings. Super curious what we'll see. They're definitely a team that have a lot in their playbook.
I want that knife so badly, Dan. Just like something about dual wielding a knife in this game seems so cool, but I don't know how disruptive it could be on the screen. But yeah, definitely. So at this point, though, a gun round coming in for Vikings. You have a 4-round cushion for Sentinels. I'm definitely okay with them keeping the Spectre so far. The res is already ready for Dapper, and Zoms is 1 away from a Viper's Pit. So if they get a kill and put a Viper's Pit somewhere to deny on a post plant, very difficult here for Vikings to play the retake.
And Shazam's actually going to take down Sassy early on here towards the A side. And with all this pressure towards B as well, Sentinels could reset in the mid round here, which it looks like they might be considering. Just cut the noise and force Vikings to play 2 to a site or play info somewhere. And it looks like actually Sentinels are just going to hold. And so again, you know, if you wait long enough, it's likely that the defenders are thinking to themselves, well, they could have rotated back, so we're going to have to rotate some players off. And you can see on the minimap, that's exactly what's happening. Just by waiting, Sentinels have made their attack on B stronger.
Yeah, and Sutakas is going to be on his own now inside this B site. He's going to have to be on point with potentially a quadruple swing onto this B site. This wall is going to come up. Should be an easier plant now that they have the wall to come up at the same time as well. And there you go. So Sentinels are going to come in for a plant. You're going to have to play a retake once again for Vikings with a man disadvantage, but also Sassi dying early means they have no recon for the retake inside this Viper's Pit.
There's so much utility all over the place. It's so confusing to see exactly if you're in that smoke where players are going to be coming from. But looks like there's a good sense of it here for Sentinels, especially for Zoms as he lurks around inside that Viper's Pit looking for any oncoming assailants.
No way.
Goodness, GTN knows those angles. Takes down TENZ from a distance, and with that, maybe there's a chance here. But time is an issue. They've got to move, and it looks like the movement will be to retreat and to hold on to these weapons. Makes a lot of sense. Very close one.
It looked pretty good though, I'm not gonna lie. I'd love to see the replay from GTN's POV. Like, we saw that third kill on the top through the Viper's Pit on top of green, but the first two, I'm thinking that it's also some random sprays through the smoke for those kills. And that is actually pretty good to hurt the economy of Sentinels, who continue to be like pretty much on the run so far in the second half. And there you go, look at that. That was pretty sick.
Wow. All right.
And that's the two-bullet dance. The two-bullet dance. Pop up. And he lands those shots. So they're practicing this so far, despite having a composition that, we said it, no Viper, no Sage, blah, 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 blah. It's like, hey, we're comfortable with our composition. We know how to play this. And they're playing it almost to perfection, where it's been a very difficult half for Sentinels on the defender side. But the attacker side so far has been a whole different story here, Dan.
Yeah, it really has. And Sentinels will kick this round off with just defaulting out pressure towards A and B long control. Very scary playing against TENZ. I'm very sure that that's quite an intimidating prospect. Team there with a Vandal just ADSing away, looking for the taps. Got to be very careful about giving up kills to TENZ in this position. You don't want to do it. And in the meantime, with TENZ showing that presence, we are seeing a contact through, and TENZ will get the frag eventually. He will not be denied. Vikings in for some trouble. It could be decent paint shells. You can see Dapper just barely escapes that one. It does delay the spike plant for the time being. Buy some extra time for the rotation. Oh, the shock dart missing there. I think again, in fact.
Yeah.
That's so unfortunate. And they have nothing left here, Fancilli. They've been completely annihilated for yet another Prime Gaming flawless.
The idea was there. I think maybe losing FRZ early like that was a detriment for sure, especially when you're playing a Jet that you could try to dash away if TENZ is trying to shoot at you. But the way that they threw the recon dart just to combine it with the paint shells to deny the plant was huge, because off that, you're even able to throw the Sancho charges onto the wall from GTN, potentially break that wall. But again, because you've lost a player so early, it just makes it harder as an anchor player inside the site that you've lost. Much more difficult for the retake, and Sentinels just took advantage of that one for sure. And now they're forcing VKS, the Vikings, on an eco, and VKS are looking for the timeout to figure out what to do, potentially in the further rounds, right? You have a showstopper at this point. Do you want to try to fight for orbs too for Sadak so he could have a Killjoy ult into the next round should they not win this eco round, and try to figure out what to do? And it looks to be a hero buy so far for GTN.
Yeah, and interestingly, I think, was it from Masters when we had that statistic showing that hero buys had like a 38% win rate or something like that?
Yeah.
Like significantly higher than just, a Sheriff save round, for example. I think that was from Masters 1. And we'll see if there can be any success here from Vikings with this hero buy. I'm definitely a big fan of it. I think in CSGO it became, much more popular in the recent years.
Yeah. And I feel like it's definitely more doable in this game right now for Valorant. So to be able to have that on top of that, the showstopper. So as you're shooting away and they're trying to run away from the showstopper from Sentinels, and you now have gain map control and switch over to a Vandal to try to capitalize on an entry with that too, it could be very beneficial right now for Vikings on how they want to run this. And coming off this timeout, we're about to resume here, round number 17. It seems as though right now for Vikings, it's sticking things up towards the A side and potentially just going for the aim battle from the boxes of 410 into A belt.
And it makes sense, you know, Sentinels have shown presence here in many rounds, and we've got the same approaches. Shazam's the most forward player because he has a dash, but can't dash away from that one. Great shot, and that's the opening kill. You know, Sentinels know that they've been peak sticking players there on the defaults and on the anti-eco, that it's Shazam. He has the dash, he can be safer than his teammates. And Vikings knew it too, and they actually found the kill this time around. So yeah, with that and with the Blade Storm, this gets scary.
Definitely a nice little variation of fighting the A orb. We talked about Sentinels on the attacker side before, defender side, sorry, before. It was Zombs ulting with the Viper's Pit and then Shazam picking up the orb. This time, it's FRZ moving forward with GTN with the rifle so that potentially if GTN dies, you could trade, pick up the orb, and then you'll still be on your Blade Storm. So I like that. He landed that kill into Shazam, picked up the orb, and now it's winnable.
And TENZ managing to snipe one in middle though, so that's going to even up the numbers. And it's triggering a rotation here as well towards this B side of the map. Throwing in some last bits of utility there, Dapper onto A, maybe to keep the rotation at bay from the defenders of Vikings. But we'll see that I'm sure that they will hear the Leer there. They do have Sudicast in position. He's going to play into the smoke here. This is a risky maneuver, but will it pay off? No, it doesn't. TENZ will take him down, and the spike will go down onto the B site. GTN, there it is. There's the dance you were talking about. That showstopper's available still as well. This is scary stuff here for Vikings trying to press forwards through the toxic screen. There's the first battle. 6 going to win it. Huge. The Zombs with the lineups ready to go. Sassy, oh no, both players running out of bullets. And it's going to be Sentinels that get the better of that one. 12-5 as they are yet to drop a round in this half.
I like the idea, at least, of playing inside the smoke. It's definitely a risky, way more risky. I think he had a Sheriff right now inside that smoke at the same time too, Dan. So if he did have a Classic or a Frenzy, maybe doable, but also when you have to face off against TENZ inside that smoke, with the way that he's playing and the way that he warms up, it's going to be very difficult to try to win that upper hand. And aside from that, yeah, a little bit awkward in the end, but you're happy that you still have a sidearm versus Sassi, who had nothing left after losing all those shots. So now it's map point potentially here for, or should I say the first map potentially in the bag for Sentinels as they're leading by 7. And with Vikings looking still for some sort of solution, is looking to be an early kill actually towards this mid side. Dan off camera, a peek down towards mid, and that surprised Zombs.
Yeah, Sadiki, super brave, going down all the way down mid there to find that one. An unusual move. I don't think that move has yet come in, which is why it likely took Sentinels off guard. And Sentinels now, they're just going to collapse on this A site, looking to contact through. Information there with the reveal. So that's 2 players that they've spotted. That tells them enough, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
Kill on the dash. TENZ goes down. That's one of the entries just gone. Oh dear. It's looking a bit scary now for Sentinels. 3v5. Don't really have position, but they have to commit to this. They don't have time to go to B. So it's all in on this A site. FRZ is here waiting at 410. Great repositioning. Such a great round so far from FRZ. Will finally go down, but it's done a great deal of damage. Shazam switching out for the Vandal, seeing what he can get done here. 15 seconds to go. Revealed, and it's very difficult, isn't it? Fantastic shot again. Trying to bait out another play. He can actually get a spike plant here. He's on for the clutch. He's going to hit them closing the distance. He comes out before he gets the spike planted, and the paranoia comes through. Sadiki with the finishing shot onto Shazam, and it's one round. It's the first round for Vikings in this half. They need to get a lot more.
Oh yeah, but definitely a valiant attempt there for Shazam. At that point for Sentinels, losing a player like Zom so early. I'm okay if you lose TENZ or Shazam at that point, but when you lose a Viper that could pull up these walls, that could try to force the rotations, that could play mind games with your opponents, with having that agent down, Vikings, playing that numbers advantage, they never rotated. They played the right numbers. They didn't over-rotate at the same time, too. They already had a 3-player stack towards that A side, and the same utility that you see from Killjoy on this minimap was placed on the same way for Sadak. So they played that perfectly on their end, played that patiently, too. But it could have turned it over for how Shazam has been on fire with the knives to start things off and potentially with that clutch. But Vikings, they stay alive. They're trying to hold back this B side as you're fighting for this orb, and Shazam getting the opener. And he's going to say, look, I didn't clutch before, but I'm definitely going to help my team win this map. They also picked up the Hunter's Fury, and this is going to be tough now for Vikings.
Yeah, great kill there from Sadiki. He's got the lockdown too, so could cause a lot of problems here. Hunter's Fury comes through as well from Sassy. Oh, gets 2 on the tag, and is able to finish off both players as well. That's a great lineup. And now it's down to 2 here for Sentinels. Sick and Shazam. Oh god, this is looking very difficult. Sadaki's just holding that defuse for days right now. I don't think there's any way they can stop this. Indeed, they swing, it's desperate, and Vikings pick up another round. So they're not done just yet. And you can see the change from Sentinels there, Vansily. They decided to just really mix it up because they've been defaulting so much. You know, and it was good for a pick, actually. Shazam actually managed to find a pick. Yep. And they just collapsed onto the B site. So it looked really good initially until that happened.
Very, very difficult, too, when you definitely have to try to dodge a Hunter's Fury from one of the best Hunter's Furier, if I could put it that way, from Sussy in the game. So getting a double onto that one definitely gave that confidence for Vikings to just stick that spike at the same time, too. But that means more ultimates available into this round. Aggressive push coming in from Sadak again, but it gets immediately traded out. They still have a res, so they could get the res with the Shazam. He could still bring out the Blade Storm, and they're going to still be at a 1-player advantage for Sentinels.
This could be a great response from Sassy, though. Going aggressive in A main. They've got these deep positions. Oh, just caught before the satchel can be utilized there. FRZ going to whip that one, but no way. Cast is good for it. The aggression from multiple sides from Vikings catches Sentinels off balance. But it is not done just yet. A minute to go, and we're in this 2v2. We've got the play being made by Dapper onto the B site, and Sick is able to get a lot of information in this position.
Yeah, he's going to hear the footsteps. He could bait it out. He's going to let Dapper know at the same time. And if Dapper fails, well, you have a Hunter's Fury available. There's 6 in a great spot.
The timing is perfect for Sick as well. That surely seals the deal here as FRC's in such a bad spot. No help to work with. Very troublesome indeed. Goes through, I respect it. And that's going to be it. Sick is going to close it down for Sentinels. Map 1 in the bag. The Brazilians put up a hell of a fight, though. That really looks very competitive. They were struggling on that second half, but it really felt like a super competitive game, and I'm really excited to see which way the series is going to go after that.
I do agree with you, Dan. Looking at how they played, their attacker side for Vikings looked very promising. A little bit flat-footed, though, on the defender side, too. Again, not having that utility to be able to play for those retakes of how Sentinels were playing before, but I like how they actually adapted to not having that type of utility. That push that they had towards that A main, not only for 1 player, but you expect 2 players from pushing into A main while they're also crunching on the top of the boiler side. This is something new. This is something unorthodox. This is something that you don't see very often in North America, so it definitely potentially caught Sentinels off guard. But when, again, you look at the Sentinels, what they have on paper, they have so many players that have clutch potential, and so many players that just off the back of 1 single player, either it's Sick, TENZ, Dapper, or Zoms, they could still get the multi-kills and bring the round back in their favor. And that's what happened, and we do have the first map now in favor of Sentinels.
Yeah, definitely a great game to start things off with between these 2 teams. And I love the point that you brought up there about, you know, what they did when they were down to 4 players, Vikings, because it's so cool to see the communication and the teamwork to make a situation like that happen. Just it's got to be a call. You've got to be able to play outside of a structure. You have to be able to adapt to the situation, and for them to show that they are, you know, thinking like that, I think bodes very well for their chances to maybe make this a 3-mapper. Again, Sentinel's the team to beat right now in this tournament, but Vikings are looking good.
The only thing right now is that Icebox was the map here picked by Vikings, if not mistaken, because we're going into the second map, which is going to be Haven. And Haven, if I'm not mistaken as well, Vikings have brought in an Astra a little bit more into their composition in their region. It works pretty well, but it works well in their region. How is this going to fare against Sentinels right now, who have been dominant so far on Haven in North America and also now on the world stage? So that is going to be my biggest question mark here for Vikings. They got the one map out of the way, maybe not in their favor, but I think they still have a very tough task ahead in the second map on Haven.
They definitely do, and it's time for them to go and regroup. You know, we're going to be headed for a quick break, but when we come back, the analysts will be with you, breaking down that Sentinels win. Don't go anywhere.
Over X.
part of this composition like Lothar is talking about here, right? They have the Sage Walls, they have the Viper Toxic Screens, they can cut off B. So the pistol round for them on the attacker side is a pretty easy win because they're able to just lock that side down with all their utility. And anytime they had the Viper's Pit up, it's a B hit. And outside of GTN just popping people through the Viper's Pit randomly, they pretty much would lock those down for free. So just a really nice job by Sentinels. I got to give Vikings a little bit of credit. They were doing a good job dealing with Shazam over on the A side when they were on attacker side. Vasily, I think, pointed that out very nicely. But other than that, it was just a very well played, well thought out game for the Sentinels.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. And I also want to hop on to giving Vikings a little bit of credit because you could see that they had the layers right in their game plan. Even in the last round of this game, you saw as soon as Shazam went down, they knew the res was coming. The A push happened. You saw the Jet getting an opportunity. The timings, man, they were just slightly off by minute seconds, right? You saw GT Zen on the raise, busting out the rocket, trying to get an opportunity for himself. But again, the timings just weren't on their side this time around. I'm hoping for a different story on Haven, though, coming up on map 2 here.
Yeah, I'm sure we all are as well. But one player that isn't hoping for a different story and is ensuring that that book is written properly, it's TENZ, and he's actually going to be coming through in round 2 with our Verizon high-speed moment here, and he does so with one of my favorite weapons, the Marshall. It was a really clinical showing from him. He did manage to identify a player over by yellow, hits one, that's a whammy, gets another one. So many whammies, it's like I'm Champ Kind, and I'm just gonna keep saying whammy. Look at this, whammy. He's gonna maybe look for another one. Around the corner, whammy. There it is, nailed it, no, whammy. I mean, really, it just writes itself. The man is a human highlight reel. He's a human highlight reel, that's right. Just give me the premium gas, baby.
Doubt.
Give me the premium gas. I think on that moment, we're just going to go ahead and send it back over to our casters. Let's see if Vikings can turn this thing around. And on the prompter, it says Dan Silly, so I guess it's a thing. Take it away.
Thank you, GB. all right. Dan Silly, what is going to happen right now? What's going to happen? Are we going to go to a third map? Please. Give me the win conditions here for Vikings. I really want to see it. I want to see more from the Brazilians. They look good. They struggled on the attack there, but otherwise it looked pretty good.
Definitely. I think the attacker side, they have to continue what they were doing on Icebox and carry it over here on the map of Haven. And when you're playing against a team like Sentinels for me, for example, though, Dan, you see Zoms, I think he's grown into such a phenomenal player when Astra came in to the lineup. So Zoms, we always talked about him as like, yeah, maybe he's not able to frag as much, but the utility that he has as Omen, how he could shut down positions with the paranoia and the smoke has always been huge in terms of deniability for Sentinels. Now as Astra, when you have 5 stars, 2 Nebulas, Cosmic Divides, the Gravity Wells, and even the Nova Pulses, there's a lot of deniability where he could anchor on his own. And if you're playing a team as Sentinels and the way that you could play very aggressively, find ways to get through those Gravity Wells, find ways to punish that as well from Zoms, because after that, final bosses is that you're going to have to play against the clutch players of Dapper, the entry fraggers of Sick and Shazam. So I think Zoms is probably the agent to exploit, not the player, but getting rid of Astra out of the lineup early is definitely going to help Vikings win these post-plant situations on the attack.
Yeah, and here we are with the Prime Gaming Agent Select, and we will be having indeed the Vikings on the attack to begin with, and I'm quite curious to see exactly how they'll approach this. You know, they're definitely a team that likes to go towards, you know, some of those heavier burst kind of style of play, and so that's always a lot of fun. So I think we're going to see a lot of action towards C with the, you know, typical kind of A lobby kind of approach, you know, with the Cypher, but ultimately I think we're going to see a lot of C from them, and this is something that we saw yesterday as well against Sentinels from Fnatic, and Sentinels actually managed that super well, so that's not a good premonition for Vikings and likely the playstyle that we're going to see from them. But let's see if they have something else prepared here as we get into map 2, Vikings versus Sentinels. And Vikings, they have looked pretty damn good, and I think they have what it takes here to take us to a third map. I can't wait to see what they have here on this attack.
I'm definitely hoping for that one, Den, for sure. And them taking the attack to start things off here, and you see the standard double stars from the defenders of Zoms at the entrance of that A site in the choke. Even the recon dart to find information. It's clear, early rotate right now, and it's looking to be fairly quick inside the garage, and they're adapting already. Look at that, FRC is already up B!
And Sick's able to take down one with such a deep position. Sick is causing a lot of problems here towards spawn. He's just holding his position at this point. He's done so much good work. Nice one from Sudicast to try to make things a little bit easier, but it's still very, very difficult. Sudicast with the frenzy, not the best at that range, but making it work for now. However, Sick and TENZ will finish things off. Fantastic round from Sick. I think he got 3 out of it. And Sentinel start off with a bang.
I'm actually liking this. This is a good taste of what we could expect throughout the rest of this map here, Dan, because Icebox, it was a lot of timing we talked about, and we gave credit to Vikings how they were playing more defaulty slow, trying to force to rotate out here from Sentinels. But in this map, just off this piss around, I could expect, just because of how many angles you have into the C site, how you could get control of Garage and maybe try to split into B, the splits into the A site. There could be some very heavy splits going on the aggression from Vikings, but as I say that, it's Sentinels that's bringing that aggression instead.
Yeah, that's a little bit scary. They're really feeling it at the moment, just going for those aggressions, as you say, on the anti-eco, not afraid of anything. Leaving Vikings reeling after that one. They've only got 3 players left, 2 of which
low
tagged
HP.
up.
Yep.
And Shazam with a forward position here too on a lobby, so not all that much working here for Vikings. They've got the Sheriff in the hands of Sassy, but also the weakest player on the teams.
Yeah, everything's on lockdown. Because now Zoms could actually body peek, he could use the ability. There you go, there's a gravity well. They're pushing towards the A side. They have a trap bar towards Garage. It just got broken. They have all the information in well for Sentinels now.
Yeah, Sick is just holding a really safe position. 1 by 1. And Sick will take down Sassy as well. This is a really bad prospect as well, because Sick already has the run it back available. Because of all of the kills he's had in the... I mean, he's got 6 kills, so he's got more than enough kills to get that run it back online, and the Prime Gaming Flawless had a lot of those.
And this is where it gets scary, Dan, because yesterday when Sentinels played against Fnatic, we saw a lot of clutch plays. We saw some very close plays, and it came down to the wire from Sentinels to be able to win this map. I think it was 13-11. And somebody that was quiet in that series was Sick, where we know the combination of him and TENZ together could be very strong. Cast him in North America, the combination of the curveball with the op coming out from TENZ at the same time could be detrimental for any team that faces against him. But now that he's online already with a run it back in round 3, oof, I'm scared.
Yeah, for sure. It is very scary. So much momentum here for Sick. A player that they would likely also be just farming the ultimate orbs onto anyway.
Yep.
In these defaults. Vikings looking for the best way to attack here, knowing that they're going to be against a heavy bonus. Rotation through to A. Spotted by Shazam.
Scanning ahead.
Yeah, that's even deniability. The recon's good enough to get information.
Yep. To slow things down, you can see that this is forced a rotation on the minimap. And we're actually getting Vikings pulling out, but they might reset back in. The thing is that they don't have much time here to mess around at this point.
30 seconds left.
And Sentinels, 4 players towards C, so they're somewhat convinced that this will be a C play. Dapper with the cam. He's going to spot it. Here comes the play. Dapper's going to go straight in front of it. He's going to just force them to fight in this choke point. It's not a good look. There is not much time on the clock here to get the spike planted. In fact, they might go for a 4-man save.
Yeah.
In fact, that's exactly what's happening. Oh my. It would actually be awesome if Sudicast could get some frags. Sadiki instead will be the one to get a frag. Ooh, don't give up any kills. Oh, okay, there we go. So
hey, yeah, you're right. It's a bonus round, right, for Sentinels, Dan. So I get it. It's like, oh, it's so close. Just don't die at this point. You sacrificed enough. And even then, even if you don't sacrifice kills, don't get damaged by the long-range chip damage that you can get from the Spectres. Because now, if you're going to force to buy armor, just like we see right now from FRZ, then you're going to be low on money no matter what into the next round, right? Because you're forcing the full buy. That said, though, for Sentinels, you could see how annoying it could be playing against an Astra. You're trying to run a last-second play into the C site. They didn't even need to come into contact at first. A camera to spot things up, a second camera to come back up here from Dapper, and then you have the gravity well, and nobody's able to come in for a plant. This time, though, just trying to play aggressive into the B site. We're trying to get an early plant for Vikings.
Sick there with the curveballs, just like so much good defensive utility coming through, and TENZ there with the push from the back as well. Sick is closing distance with these attackers, and he's doing so much damage. They're pinned in the corner. There's nowhere to go. Just Sudicast left now, coming from spawn. 1v3. Spike down in no man's land. Ooh, almost spammed down completely. And they know exactly where Sudicast is. And there we go. Shazam will take him down. And going faster didn't work here for Vikings. I liked the idea. Barreling into the B site, but Sentinels are quite ready for that. You know, just the point you were making with the utility from Astra and so on. It's very good at helping with these very fast plays. Oh my god,
shock darts.
That's beautiful. I'd love to see that.
Geometry from Shazam coming in here with the shock darts for double damage too on top of that, and he comes out a window for the kill. But I gotta say, it brings me back, Dan, to the days where Sentinel Shazam came in from an interview. It's like, hey, if North American teams want to play aggressive against us, we could do the same thing. And they're doing exactly the same type of play style that Vikings or any Brazilian team would do currently, is just bring the fight to them. And even on the defender side, pushing aggressively for map control is definitely a detriment right now for Vikings, because now they're forced to play default, they're forced to play slow, they're forced to play spread off across the map, where even a 2 versus 1 push, it's an even trade, and it's still a victory for Sentinels because you want to take those on your side on defenders.
Down a player already. NUNGGU sits on the bench watching over his team as they try to take some garage control, and a reload was heard. 6 reload. There's the curveball though. That's going to confirm some information. Shazam's walked out mid as well. I don't know that they would expect that. Ooh, 6 gonna get challenged. Trying to escape, actually. I think he was not exactly sure where he was going, but Shazam is going to be able to get a huge timing on this flank. Dapper, the master of delay, in the site. Shazam is going to isolate the garage players. And now Dapper spotted the remaining 2 in C long, and it doesn't seem like they can really combine their forces whatsoever. Everybody's picked apart in this round for Vikings. They just can't quite seem to find their footing, Vansili. Like, they can't play their game.
Yeah, the only thing that worked pretty much at the beginning of that round was kind of like a 6 versus 4, because when Sick Gut actually blinded and tried to fall back, I think he jumped into Zom's gravity well. So I kind of sucked him out of position for him to get picked off there by GTN, sorry. And yes, like you said here, Dan, nothing seems to be working because they're losing a lot of map control on mid side. Yes, they're gaining garage, but they're losing then again from B side pushes down to under window. And they need a little bit more coming out of that, I think, from Sadak, where maybe he could start throwing those cameras up towards the grass side, towards the B entrance, just to try to prevent these pushes, or at least getting that information.
Oh my god, it's a huge Hunter's Fury from Shazam. Oh, that's absolutely huge, taking down 2 players at the beginning of the rounds. Ooh. It's hard to watch.
Desperation right now here,
yeah.
Dan.
It's
you got a question mark right now, right? Or question marks are above your head, just trying to figure out what answer can we actually bring here against Sentinels. Now, not only do they have to think about like map control and all that too, but also now utility ultimates that are available for Sentinels that they had to be wary of on these aggressive pushes.
Yeah, it's kind of like we talked about before with regards to how Fnatic, sort of struggled to make their attacking side work. It was the C splits that worked out for Fnatic, but we'll get back into that in a moment as we have Sentinels here defending the B side and able to get so many kills through smokes here as well. Such a good read of the situation from Sentinels. NUNGGU left in a terrible spot. Ooh, Dapper, the master of the jiggle. And GTN will go down for the Prime Gaming Flawless. And yeah, it seems like... So it's the similar issues as to what Fnatic had with Sentinels, whereby they couldn't really win a lobby against Shazam and or TENZ.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, like, we had such good retakes on the C site if the C splits actually won the C site. But even then, sometimes just winning garage control was very difficult. And the retakes that Sentinels had into the B site when the attackers were going for the B site option was also very good. So it doesn't really seem like there is a clear weakness. It seems to be more the case that you have to have very good tactics and coordination around some of these positions, a garage, a lobby, to be able to just legit win those spots from the likes of TENZ and Shazam and Sick and so on. You have to have that in your playbook.
Agreed. And even when you're looking at this now, GTN going for potentially another hero blood, but definitely a lot weaker. And I feel like if it's not this round, potentially the next round, Vikings has a lot of chances to get the first point on the board, simply due to the fact of the amount of ultimates they currently have. This is why I'm debating if this timeout is going to be a debate to see, hey, should we actually go for some sort of a buy? How can we use our ultimates right now and capitalize on currently where Sentinels are currently being placed? Because Zombs doesn't have a Cosmic Divide for a retake. TENZ also is one away from Bladestorm. This is like a small window of opportunity for them to maybe capitalize on their own ultimates, get that first point on the board, and if they do have some sort of force buy coming in, then they add 3,000 credits into their victory to even add more into the bank later on. But it seems as though it's just going to be, okay, we have a chef. Yeah, they're going for the force buy, so let's see what happens.
We will see, indeed. It is interesting, too, because in terms of like how good Sentinels are and how well-rounded they are, I do feel like Vikings did show one successful round previously. We'll get back into that in a moment, as we'll see what the opener looks like for them with this half
control
there.
Probably. They want to fight for A control and potentially just ult everything into the A site.
So many ultimates indeed. Sentinels can play retake very effectively. Soms and TENZ both one away from their ultimates respectively. Vikings trying to also, I like that they're playing this slower, you know, making sure that, you know, were Sentinels to try to run a play for information in the early to mid round, that they would be able to catch it, Vikings. Pressuring garage here, so might start to convince Sentinels that this is going to start to feel like a C play once the garage pressure comes through. And that's a pick on an A long, so maybe scratch that entirely because they will go off of the back of that one. TENZ, though, is holding the site still. So this is a problem. And a neural theft comes through to gain more information. And the spike's down, and they have the site Sentinels. They are still sitting on this one. And it doesn't look like they're able to stop TENZ. He's going to own absolutely everybody that tries to walk into this site. Oof, unfortunate there. Just Sudicast left, and there's no time for this one.
Yeah, only with a Sheriff and armor, I mean, you want to try to go for it, you know. You've invested enough. Bringing that on to the next round is not going to do much. And I'm actually quite surprised here, Dan, because that was a perfect entry and a first blood, actually, to take Shazam down. They threw the Neuro Theft to get information, and that's FRZ getting into the site without popping the run it back. And I guess it was the off angle there from TENZ. You're probably going to try to throw it from the pop the run it back from the corner of the sewers. But unfortunately, just TENZ gets the upper hand, just foils every single plan that Vikings had off that first blood kill. So very well done here for Sentinels to maintain their composure. They're up 7-0.
Yeah, and this time we're going to see TENZ actually working along also with Shazam. Oh, the flash comes through, caught out in the open.
Huge.
Great conversion there from Vikings, looking to send some of that action straight through to long. Don't have to commit to anything here. They have a lot of time. You can see Shazam, he wants to know, are they doubling back off of this, or are they grouping up around this? And they will try to hide from the drone, and beautifully done. Only showing GTN there taking down the drone. And just look at the mini-map. Look what this is doing to Sentinels.
Yeah, I mean, they're still guessing so far. They're starting to jiggle peek to try to get a bit of information at the same time, too, because they are one player behind. And this forces the hand of Dapper trying to push forward, and they're trying to push down towards long, too, and it works out. 6 gets the headshot, and it's tied up 4-4.
And there comes the drone here from Viking. Sentinels will be able to slow things down. Sick is doing a great job slowing things down. He kept hold of a curveball as well to have that additional delay possible. Vikings looking to force the action. Sitting in the cage now, Sick. Waiting for his next chance. There goes the flash. Forward delay. Still holding on to position. Holding on to time. Sentinels have that rotation in. It's going to be a hell of a fight here for Vikings. They're going to pop it through the showstopper. GTN is going to get traded out, though. And Sadiki and Sudicast doing a great job in converting all of these frags. The spike will be planted. Dapper in a 1 versus 3 as he makes his way through spawn. It is a hell of a job to find an opening here. It would have something has to be given. Gets tagged, and that's the frag. Great stuff there. What a round from Vikings.
That was so close. See, if only he knew the information of where the third player was there for Dapper, right? But definitely a great round for Vikings. Getting that first blood, killing Noise, and trying to figure things out more slowly. Yes, they got caught off guard from the curveball that came out from Sick, but even despite that, they kept their cool. They kept lurking up towards the A side, and opening with that showstopper allowed for Vikings to get into the site. So that was very much needed. We have, ironically enough, the Brazil scoreline now, 7-1 for Sentinels, but that was a round that they won with confidence here for the Vikings, and they could definitely run off this. Maybe not. TENZ denies it right away with 2 op kills onto FRZ and Sase.
That's the problem for sure, and you just don't want to see that. TENZ doing such a good job holding onto that position. He is so dangerous. He wants those peaks, and Sudicat's actually able to jump over the trip here into the C site. Now, it feels like everything really leans on what he's able to accomplish from this. Dapper's going to just tag him with the camera. At least Sudicast is able to kill the cam, but Dapper knows what's going on here, and he's going to try to hold on to the backside position. With the Odin, it's not going to work out. And with that, there is a chance here. Sick's going to go through. The Cosmic Divide's in. Sick over the top of Log. It will take down GTN. And that's down the Spike. Carrier killed. Sick is doing all kinds of shenanigans here on the site. And with that, this is a lot of Cosmic Divide.
Yep.
With that, the spike is it's going to be tough to get this planted. It's a 1v3 for Sadiki.
I'm surprised that they gave this up because I guess they didn't see that the spike was actually down. So everybody falls back to like default spots, but they could still play a retake on a 3v1. This is going to be still very difficult for Sadak to win.
Yeah, I think Sentinels must have assumed that he picked up the spike already.
Yeah.
But there we go. Zoms at the back of the site is going to just create an impossible situation for Sadiki. Well played by Sentinels once again, and they'll convert the rounds. One of the points I was going to make earlier is that, you know, this is a huge issue. You know, TENZ having free reign here, doing a great job hitting those shots, and you want to see them find a way to deal with TENZ to take a lobby control, because when they were able to do that, they were able to play, Vikings were able to play with the Sentinels rotations. They just did it a little bit too slowly. In one of those rounds, they got beaten out because they didn't have enough time. But I felt like they were really onto something.
I agree. I feel that they have a good composition to do that as well, although we'll talk about it later because we're looking for a split from Vikings inside the C site then.
Yeah, it's certainly, and Sassy is able to open up with the Hunter's Fury, so starts off pretty well here. Six still has that running back ready for the retake, and there we go. Running back comes through. Oh, okay. Oh, Sadaki's just going to walk straight into him. He gets taken down by the pace. Okay. TENZ has the blades out. FRC with the lineup. Coming through from window, doing the damage. And now Shazam, he's got nobody left to support him. He's alone in this retake. 4 players to find. They know precisely where he is. The swing comes through. Sudicast does not care. Just takes him out. 1v1. And Vikings convert the round.
And so it's one of those examples, just like on Icebox, when there's just so much utility going on here for both of these teams that it just becomes so messy to try to take the play, take the site, or even retake here for either of these teams. Thankfully, Vikings took the upper hand. But just to get back as we have time here, Dan, I feel that the composition for Vikings, they do have a good comp to try to push back TENZ on such aggressive peaks here on the A side. They got JTN with the Boombot or Paint Shells. They could curveball outside of A long. They could shock dart or recon dart towards long A as well to push him back. And then that will force Sentinels to surrender the A site. The thing is, if they use that much, then they don't have too much to take the site over, and TENZ continues to go to work.
Yeah, he does. 2 kills on the board already before they've even gotten to the site. And, oh, it just doesn't stop here. Sentinels, another Prime Gaming flawless for them. It's been so many in this half. Again, it just seems so difficult for Vikings to win the information battle. And on some of the individual plays, TENZ has free reign. How many times are we seeing TENZ get the fights that he wants?
Yeah. Very, very often right now in these battles towards long A, Dan. And at the same time, it's, again, a lack of utility, unfortunately, that for these battle for control towards A side. Yes, they're able to avoid the recon dart that gets thrown into the choke point. But outside of that, where's the curveball to come out to continue to take control of A long, or the Owl Drone to continue to push them back? And Shazam, you just saw in that replay, he puts his hands up. He's like, what's going on here? It's a little bit too easy for me right now to hold up the A side. So it feels like a reverse of how they were playing Icebox, where I'm like, okay, well, they don't have that much utility to try to push Shazam back, and they played that perfectly for Vikings. Now it's lackluster for their attack, unfortunately, here against Sentinels on this map of Haven. Double up, by the way, Dan.
And why not? It's definitely going to be a surprise because it frees up TENZ to roam here. He's on that top of the C site with his operator. Vikings in a desperately bad position overall so far in this half. Looking to contact through to the B sites. Might actually be great here. Retaking with the operators might be difficult. Flash comes through, Dapper. Looking to go for the challenges here. Has that Astra smoke to work from. Neural Theft out as well to get the extra information in. They've been gifted. The spike is on the site there for Sentinels just to sit on top of. It's under their control, locked away by the Astra smoke, locked away by the entire team at this point. Oh man, this is not a good look here for Vikings. They are well and truly on the struggle bus. Oh no, no, don't do it to him, Dapper, no! Oh, the humanity. Dapper denied the knife, thank goodness.
Dapper bringing a North American flair onto the global stage here, Dan, just showing how when they're comfortable, or when they're just falling behind, or when they don't care, that's the type of Sentinels that you can see sometimes, and it shows a little bit. Like at the same time as it's fun in games, it also shows and it adds a little bit more onto Vikings. It's like, oh crap, these guys are like on fire. They're super confident. What can we do right now to try to regain control of this map? And so far, like I said, I feel it's a lack of utility that's currently being used by Vikings, but toe-to-toe, when they're able to avoid the operator of TENZ and try to fight a little bit more out of, like bring this 1v1 fights, they've had good flanks actually at the same time too, from Garage side when they were splitting up to C. So there are some weaknesses into how Sentinels were setting up. I just find that they weren't able to get that information to capitalize on these type of weaknesses that could have been exploited.
Yeah, definitely. It does feel like Sentinels are just chilling right now. They're not having to really do anything special. They're really in their comfort zone, as you mentioned. The fact that they're able to bring out the double operator is just goes to show that that they're feeling super comfortable. It's also a gear they didn't really have to go to as well. They made it work otherwise. But into the second half, we've got a pistol upon us. Vikings on the defense. Sentinel's not with any quick maneuvers though. It's a lurk on A long from Dapper, looking to just contact in. He's just going to see what he can get, it looks like at this point. Spots one. Oh, he's actually forced out the paint shells. That's a big win.
And Boobot. The thing is right now, Dan, though, is this is something that Dapper does a lot, right? Put the camera up, work that A-side choke, something that Fnatic didn't take advantage of too. But look at Vikings. They never really rotated players out after using the initial utility from Raze. They still have great utility and positioning for any type of push happening towards this C-side that seems to be happening.
Yeah, and now Sentinels have that garage control, working towards the C splits, and there's actually a good amount of players here for Vikings, trying to hold on to the backside. TENZ, though, up high, able to look over all of these smokes with that Ghost doing damage. 3 players, 2 players now left here. It's looking grim for Vikings as they fight tooth and nail, but it's not looking all that good. GTN is the last of it here for Vikings. Frenzy outs TENZ from the side. And that's a wrap. 11-2, Vikings. Really struggling here against Sentinels.
Yeah, when I look back of how that pistol played, it seems, I'm not sure if we saw that recon dart coming out earlier on towards the A side into choke, but trying to figure out how many bodies are currently working towards that A side, I think just a recon dart could have maybe avoided the paint shells and the boom bot that was forced out from GTN. And that was just off Dapper walking up into the A site. So lack of information one more time. Here's the recon dart that's going to come this time too. And on top of that, a tactical timeout for Sentinels. I'm liking this. I'm liking this also from the point of view of Vikings. Because if they ran out of timeouts currently playing into this map versus Sentinels, this gives them more time to figure out how they want to play this. And you could see right off the bat, right off the rip, they went for a Bulldog buy and a Stinger buy, as well as shields and shares. So they were ready to play for the victory so far, Dan. So allowing this extra minute, they could regain their composure and really try to figure out how they can actually punish Sentinels on their attacker side. But the only information that they got was barely nothing, unfortunately, based off that pistol.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough world for Vikings to be living in at the moment. I think one of the difficult aspects to it as well is that, you know, Sentinels is such a strong team individually that you also have to be able to compete there first before we can talk about the tactical and strategical game. And you know, I'm hoping for Vikings that they're going to have an easier time of it here on this defense, because, you know, there's less, like, they don't have to worry about working the map as much. It's you don't have to worry about defaulting as much, trying to play the rotation game. It's more about reacting and then using the information you get from how Sentinels are playing their attack to understand the kinds of responses that you need to make. It's definitely a little bit more simplistic.
Definitely. I find that with the plays or the agent composition here, like Sentinels currently has, like somebody like Sick as this Phoenix is going to take a lot of this mid control at the same time too, and where FRZ is looking to contest it, at the beginning, but he couldn't capitalize on a kill. So far so good to try to bring that aggression out for Vikings and gain that information, forcing out the Owl drone at the same time for Shazam. But here comes an open B site, at least for Sick to force out a rotation, and Sadak's on his own.
Only nice work with the Stinger too. Repping the Stinger, love to see it. But yeah, as you mentioned, Sick in that position is definitely a problem in B. He hits a good timing on the lurk. He might catch FRZ. The timing could be brutal, but actually, FRZ gets a few free shots, unable to connect them. Sick in B, causing problems. Still will try to get out of that spot to help his teammates on the site. Dapper's incredibly low. And Shazam is on the side here with the Bulldog. He is really, I mean, I feel like that he is the Bulldog player, Shazam. See what he can get with it on the ADS. It's just down to him now, and he's going to clutch it. Beautiful. Shazam with the Bulldog. That is a wonderful combination, and that's going to be game point.
Yeah. Even if the banner didn't come out, that was definitely a Red Bull clutch, because it looked pretty good for Vikings to gain the momentum back towards that pulse plant, because you mentioned it, Dan, a great position that was going to be a nuisance right now for Vikings of where Sick was currently placed inside that C-link. So for them to swing out to get those kills, to make it a 2 versus 2, and potentially even there a 2 versus 1, you're happy here that Shazam is definitely on point with that Bulldog to be able to win that in the end for Sentinels. Even though it's a 12-2 scoreline, even if it was an 11-3, you don't want Vikings, you don't want them to gain that momentum. anywhere in the second half, and you just want to close out the series now. So map point, series point, a buy coming in from both teams, but definitely a lower buy now for the defenders of Vikings. Actually, it's pretty even.
Yeah, we're pretty far away from any ults as well, so
yeah,
that's not going to come into play to take sites or to retake sites. Sentinels just creating presence across the map, looking for any possible flanking actions from C Long and making sure they have a good understanding if anyone's pushing Garage, and at the same time they're taking control here, meeting GTN sick, winning that battle. And they're going to fall back. And this is so awful. Imagine being on the receiving end of this. You're afraid of the A hit, but at the same time, they could be anywhere. They reset.
FRZ has to come up huge right now, especially now that he's pinged in. This is going to be very difficult. I think he's going to have to play this passively and wait for his teammates to come back.
Ooh, good timing, though, found with the stinger from Sadiki. That's going to even things up into a 4v4. Shazam, though, with that ADS on the Bulldog, is always good for it. FRZ still causing some issues there on the B sites. And here comes that flank. If there's distraction here for Sudicast to work off of, might be able to get 2 free ones. Knows where the second player is. Priest up there from Sudicast. Gets the dink onto Dapper. 20 health left. Finished off. Vikings. Great discipline on that one. Great patience. And they will be rewarded. They'll stay in this. But my God, looking at the journey ahead of them, it's a scary one.
But we talked about it before, maybe not on a different half. There was some weaknesses here on Sentinels on how they were playing the defense, but this time you were able to exploit one when Sentinels were playing on the attack. So very nice here for Vikings to not be afraid of the lurk that Dapper always plays with the camera down towards that A choke. So for Sudicast to be able to come out and get that flank, even getting a dink onto the third player, phenomenal job for Sudicast at the same time too. It was a much needed round, a round that they won with only 2 players alive. So technically the buy should still be okay right now for Vikings, especially when Sentinels are going to be on an eco.
Uh-oh. Sudicast is going to go down for free, and that's, I mean, he does 22 damage. Well, Kuson's down to 22 health, and Sassy's going to be able to finish that one off. But this is definitely an issue here. Sentinel straight into the Hunter's Fury going forward as well. TENZ with that Blaze Storm, good for the entry. And there's just 2 players left here for Vikings. This pace from Sentinels has been devastating. At least Sadiki is going to be able to get something here. FRZ with the run it back. Can there be a trade off of that? No. TENZ with the jumping knives. And FRZ not in a position to do a lot here. Hands to eliminate some positions. Actually gets it. Zom's just stuck in that position, very low on HP. And with that said, now, oh my God, there's a chance here. FRZ against Shazam. Now he knows exactly where he is. Shazam with the peaks. Can he find a shot here? There goes the hot hands. Oh, he forces him forward. Great stuff there from FRZ. The clutch is going to be coming through surely. There is just about enough time here for this defuse. Amazing stuff for the Red Bull clutch. FRZ keeping his team alive in this one. I did not expect them to be able to actually pull this one back.
That's when you're actually overextending, when you're that confident, it can come back and bite you. Not necessary for TENZ to jump up and to go for the peak. Everything prior to that, in terms of Sentinels getting into the site, has been superb. The gravity well onto the frenzy kill that it got into sewers to punish Sudicast, going in with the Blade Storm combined with the Recon Dart and also the Hunter's Fury. But the Pulse Plant retake from FRZ, thankfully that they did a lot of damage onto Sentinels on that Pulse Plant, allows them to win that 3 versus 1. Just again, on an overextension from TENZ on that 2 versus 1 that allows Vikings to stay alive.
FLC with nerves of steel, but Sentinel's going really fast into the C site right now. And once again, TENZ on that high ground on the Radiant boxes. And it's looking a lot better here. Vikings still have the backside control. Zom's is going to try to push the issue. Goes down. And there's no presence here now for Sentinel's backside. They may have to give this one up, but I don't think they can afford to. The spike is down in a forward position. Sentinels are committed to this C site.
They just want to try to finish this right now, Dan, which is why they went so aggressively. But Sick does get the first kill. It's traded off, and on his 3-on-3, cornered is Sick, staying alive from the molly. And let's see if they can actually clutch it out.
Oh God, this is so awkward here for Vikings, but they make it work. Another round for the Brazilians as they fight to keep themselves alive in this one. I mean, you have to have nerves of steel for this.
And on this stage, thankfully, at least the pressure is not that far up now for Vikings because we're still in the upper bracket, right? So there's not that much pressure, but there's still the pressure to perform. Really wanted to perform well here for Vikings against Sentinels. This second map, getting 3 rounds in a row. You're building that confidence up, potentially for 4 in a row now, because you do have a smaller buy here for the attacker side, but you do have, once again, the Marshal of TENZ. Gotta be careful for that one, as Sentinels are looking to push aggressively again, this time towards the A site.
Yeah, and they did this previously. You know, we had that FRZ clutch to save the day, but this previously worked quite well for Sentinels, but they're not quite as fast as before. They're not getting that opening kill that was offered up at the beginning of the round last time. Sudicast playing close around the Astra smoke. This feels quite scary indeed. TENZ on that Marshal.
You are divided.
There goes the Cosmic Divide. And Sick is going to open things up, takes down Sudicast as he starts to barrel up. There's the showstopper, able to dodge that one. TENZ is still alive. The taps, the 2-bullet dance, as you called it, comes through here for Vikings, and they are holding onto the site. Magnificent stuff there. In fact, they survived with 3 players. A great result. Looks kind of scary for a moment, but they're still in this one.
And slowly but surely, the ultimate points are also building up here, Dan. Yes, the money comes back for Sentinels into this round off this half buy, but you're definitely happy right now for the defender side that you only lost 2 players, because now it gives you that confidence of, yes, we can finally go toe-to-toe here against Sentinels. Trying to peek out against us, like you said, Dan, be more reactionary. They reacted a lot towards that A side on Sentinels, try to move in. They play the off angles, and they're able to win those fights. Continue in that fashion right now for Vikings. If Sentinels continues to overextend like this, we could definitely have a closer game. But now you have a run it back here from Sick, and he's been devastating in the past with that ultimate on this map.
Oh, what a start here coming from Vikings. The aggression from them right now. They're going is absolutely wild with this. Sick looking to answer back into Garage. Soliki with the Odin, trying to spam it. Forwards. Sick with the entry, though. He's got to run it back available now as well. On the side, causing problems. There goes the curveball. Straight through to try to punish these players towards spawn, as Sick keeps himself going on that warpath. And Sentinels get the spike down. This was looking really good for Vikings at one point. Goes Shazam, gets a freebie. He's going to be able to reposition as well. Just so many issues. Oh, no. Very unfortunate for Vikings, but that's going to be a wrap in this series. Sentinels are going to clinch it. 13-6. Not quite as competitive as the first map, Icebox. But still, overall, I think a good showing from Vikings. Sentinels are still the team to beat in this upper bracket.
Definitely. I got to give my my congratulations as well, for sure, despite Vikings losing this series of... It's not over for them yet, right? And we saw it. Look how happy they are. And that's what I was going to talk about, too. Sudicast, given the surf, everything's cool, dude. Don't worry about it. We'll be back tomorrow, you know? Don't worry about it, dude. But at the same time, Sassi, in his interview, he's just so jolly. He's so nice. Losing, winning, it doesn't matter. They're learning from this so far. And after learning how Sentinels play, such an aggressive play style on the defense, and bring that flavor back to Brazil, who they should have that aggressive play style coined of their region, I think they're coming back in full force tomorrow. Vikings definitely got a lot of experience from this game.
Yeah, I agree. I think it is so vitally important. I think you raised such a good point there with that. You know, again, they still have more games to play. They've learned a lot from this matchup, and they're probably going to feel like, hang on, there was a lot of opportunities that we actually had in this game to really push Sentinels to the limit here. If we changed a few things here, or this clutch went another way, and we saw that on Icebox. If they were able to be a little bit more balanced as they moved into the second half, it took them a little bit too long to kind of figure out the answers they needed. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of promise coming out of this in terms of a learning experience for Vikings. So, impressive stuff overall. I'm really excited to see what they have coming into the next matchups, because I feel like any opponent they're going to run into will be easier than Sentinels at this point. Sentinels are really powering up.
And just on the other side here of the coin, Dan, is just what's next? How can you stop Sentinels at this point, right? they haven't been that tested on those two maps in versus Vikings. So now we're going to look at Sentinels when they're going to play against potentially who knows on the other side of the bracket in the winners finals, and later on inside the bracket. Sentinels have been so good at adapting and switching over to a playstyle that seems to be unstoppable. Because when you look at how Vikings played versus Sentinels, there was a lack of utility, a lack of abilities to try to force back TENZ. TENZ and Shazam have been very good. But once you stop him, once you find the right combination to push those players back, how do you now play against Sentinels when they're falling back, when they're playing more conservatively, when they're playing more turtled inside that site? That is still a lot of question marks that remains to be unanswered. And for a team to only be able to figure that out once the match comes live, I'd be scared. I'd be scared.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of things to be scared of in this one, especially when talking about Sentinels. But we don't have to talk anymore. It does it from us here at the caster desk. For me and Vasily, we'll go to a quick break. The analysts will close out the day, and we'll hear from Dapper and TENZ in the Verizon post-game interview. See you for that.